What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. Today is a beautiful day. So, American politician Lindsey Graham threatens Mexico with a military invasion. Fellas, I understand many of you here are Africans. Some of you are African Americans in the Caribbean. You watch us. We appreciate you. But it is necessary that we understand the geopolitical system, what's happening in the world. I think it's crucial that we understand in order to move our community forward. So please stay. Let's watch this together. I'm going to make a comment right after. I also want you to be implicated. I want you to make a comment so we can reflect together and bring our minds together. Let's watch.
I'm going to introduce legislation, Jesse, to make certain Mexican drug cartels, foreign terrorist organizations under U.S. law, and set the stage to use military force if necessary to protect America from being poisoned by things coming out of Mexico. So what would Lindsey Graham do? I would tell Mexican government, if you don't clean up your act, we're going to clean it up for you.
If you don't clean up your act, we're going to clean it up for you. Lindsey Graham says directly to the president of the Republic of Mexico. Is that acceptable? If you don't clean up your act, we're going to clean it for you. Accusing Mexico of accepting drug cartels and many other countries. I mean, which country says they're going to go fix things in another country? I think we're going to dive into this so we can understand. What are the reasons why Lindsey Graham would say we're going to go? So literally that means let's go invade Mexico. Right? So what are the reasons why Lindsey Graham will say that? Why would he even suggest the idea of going to invade Mexico, a free country? All right, so let's look into the past. We're certainly going to find something very interesting. Number one, if you remember when the war started in Ukraine and European countries and America were going together as NATO to support Ukraine to fight against Russia, the president of Mexico said openly, I'm not interested in war. You shouldn't be financing war by sending weapons and more aid. You should actually be bringing these guys together. You say you want peace. You want things to be fine between people. Why don't you bring Russia and Ukraine together to sit around the table so they can discuss and find a solution? Why can sending weapons and bombs and missiles to Ukraine help in resolving this problem? Number two, if you remember, fellas, BRICS is growing very much, very quickly. So they said the South African representative of BRICS, Ambassador Anil Soklai, has hinted that the group is set to grow bigger this year, with more than 30 countries having formally and informally applied to join the alliance. The latest report indicates that the countries that are ready to join BRICS are Afghanistan, Algeria, Argentina, Bangladesh, Iran. Oh, Iran, we're going to come back to Iran. Mexico. Oh, so Mexico is joining BRICS, the enemy of the West. Nigeria, Pakistan, and more. So many countries are geared up to join BRICS because they see that the unfairness is just blunted. So basically what's happened generally is when people do things that the West don't like, those people get sanctioned. And usually the sanction comes through money. Okay, they will sanction your country in a way that you cannot use international money, you cannot use the dollar, it's not going to benefit you, and people of your country will starve. That's exactly what they've done to Zimbabwe, because the Zimbabwean ex-president took the lands back from the white fellas and gave it back to the African people, because the white fellas came after colonization and took over the land, and the Zimbabweans were starving. He decided to take the land and give it back to the locals so they can develop and grow. And after that, he was sanctioned. Now, Robert Mugabe has passed away a long time ago. Up until now, Zimbabwe is still under sanction. So they use that monetary system that is controlled by the West to punish Zimbabwe. Now, alternatively, there is BRICS that joins Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which is very strong. Mexico has openly voiced its will to join BRICS because they feel like they're being bullied. Yeah, naturally, that's what it is. If you do anything that we don't like in the West, you're going to get bullied. You're going to get sanctioned. And if you open your mouth, you're probably going to get a visit from democratic armed force. Number three, Mexico openly refused to condemn Russia in its war. You remember at that time when they asked everybody to make a move, everybody had to make a choice. You're either with us or you are against us. And many African countries chose to stay neutral. They didn't want to voice themselves. Many at least refused to condemn Russia in its move. And Mexico, like many other countries, refused to condemn Russia at the suspense of everybody. The president of Mexico even made a speech saying he chooses to remain neutral. Mexico nationalized lithium. Yes, Mexico has a lot of lithium. And for those of us who don't know, lithium is very necessary for technology today. So they say the most important use of lithium is rechargeable batteries for mobile phones, laptop, digital cameras, electric vehicle. Lithium is also used in some of non-rechargeable batteries. Zimbabwe has lithium. Mexico has lithium. Obviously, when the president said, you know what, I want to nationalize lithium so it can benefit my people, they don't like it. That has happened before in many countries where they decided to nationalize things, then they brought them democracy. So we have number one, Mexico asking everybody to come at peace and have no more war in Russia. Supplying guns to Ukraine is not aid. Supplying guns to Ukraine, it's lending them guns, which they have to pay for in billions of dollars. It's not for free. So he said, if you really don't want war, why are you sending guns that they have to pay for? You shouldn't be doing that. So number two, he refused to condemn Russia openly. He said, I'm not condemning Russia. I'm not going to get involved in this directly. I'm going to stay neutral. And I believe every country has the right to choose whichever position they want to take. Number three, they nationalized lithium, which is very valuable to companies right now in the US and many other places in the world. So that's, in other words, saying we don't want your companies to come here and take our stuff. We're going to keep our stuff for our people. And as you know, as per history, people that do these type of moves and 6 feet underground. So remember we mentioned Saudi Arabia in the list of countries looking to join BRICS. Why is this important? A while back, America and Saudi Arabia had a deal in the 1970s. The deal was, okay, we're going to bring you weapons. We're going to bring armed force to protect you against Iran. And you're going to give us exclusivity in selling your oil. At the time, Saudi Arabia and Iran were not seeing eye to eye. They were gruesome enemies. So Saudi Arabia at the time needed help from the United States to protect its people. So the US said, we're going to protect you against Iran, provided that you let everybody that want to buy oil buy it in dollars. Everybody from that time were forced to exchange their currency to dollars before purchasing oil in Saudi Arabia for their country. So you couldn't buy oil if you didn't have dollars. And that set dollar as the money of the world, the most powerful money of the world. And that's the reason why dollar is so powerful right now. That was the deal between the United States and Saudi Arabia. I'm going to provide you defense. I'm going to provide you security, but you give us the power by letting our money be the money people use to buy your petrol. Now, that whole thing has changed. How has it changed? In order for the US to keep Saudi Arabia in that position, Iran has to keep being an enemy of Saudi Arabia. You understand? So in order for Saudi Arabia to need America, Iran has to still be there as a threat to Saudi Arabia. Now, what has China done? China, in the most malicious way, brought Saudi Arabia and Iran together. They sat around the table and had a discussion, burying their hatreds and difficulties that they've had for many years, to make some sort of a peace deal. And now you think about it. If Saudi Arabia is not scared of Iran anymore, does it need America? Doesn't need America anymore. So that poses a big threat. So let me drop it into a simpler way to understand. Most of these countries that are trying to join BRICS is basically because they don't want to be bullied anymore. They are tired of being told how they should be running their countries. They are tired of being told which system to adopt, which way to believe, which values to adopt or to embrace. They want to live their own life, be free, and do their own things. And also, they are tired of being told who their enemies are. Let us choose our own enemies. We are grown enough to make our own choices. And Mexico, in that instance, made its choice very clear. They say, we don't want war. If you don't want war, like you say it, stop sending weapons. They say, we're not going to condemn Russia. We don't want to get involved. They say, we're going to nationalize our lithium. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate you. Let me know how you feel about this. This is a very bold move by Mexico. But is it okay to threaten another country because they can make their own choices? Is it okay for Saudi Arabia to be fine with Iran and develop their own system? Is it okay for the BRICS people to make their own choice, to create their own money, their own currency, as planned for August in South Africa? Is it okay for the world to be equal, like they've always promoted it to us? Let us know. God bless.